Alright, guys, so today we're going to be talking about the Telltale Game of Thrones series in 2025 and what the overall experience is like 11 years later. Oh my god, I remember when this game first came out. And funny story about that is that I played this game before I played, not played, before I watched the television series. I was not into the TV show until after I played the game. And the reason why that matters is because it actually the game spoiled a lot of the stuff that happened in the show, like the Red Wedding, the death of certain characters in the show. I'm not going to get into spoiler territory because maybe there are some people watching this video that didn't watch the show. But that being said, if you're interested in the show, watch it first and then play the game because the game has unique characters and takes place kind of like within the same timeline as the TV series, like probably somewhere between season 3 and season 4. I think it's mostly season 4. And you have these unique characters. The Forrester family are the main protagonist, and there are 5 different characters that you play at the same time. So it works just like the TV show, which I thought was brilliant, where each scene is like cut between different characters because each character is in a different part of Westeros or even across the Narrow Sea, and you get to meet different characters like Daenerys and Ramsay, Jon Snow, Tyrion. All the main iconic characters from the show are actually in the game and make an appearance and with full voice acting too. So Telltale, you guys know how Telltale games are. The actual gameplay is pretty much non-existent. It's you making dialogue choices, and it's an interactive story more than anything else. But I think the story is actually pretty good. And if you're a Game of Thrones fan, this is a no-brainer. This is something you should definitely experience. Now, that being said, it's also a game that has been delisted for a very long time, so it's not the most accessible. But if you get a disc on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One that comes with the full season, you can download them off the disc and you can play the game still if you don't have it already. And for PC, it's pretty expensive. I paid something a little over $60 to get a Steam key for it, which was a little pricey, but it was worth it for me because I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, was really into this game when it came out, and this was the thing that actually got me into Game of Thrones and the whole world of Westeros and George R. R. Martin and everything, which I kind of regret getting into now because of the current state of the Song of Ice and Fire property, between the books not getting finished and the House of the Dragon show started off great and is just falling off a cliff. And obviously the end of the actual TV series, season 8 of Game of Thrones. Oh my god, what a I don't even want to get into that. I'm gonna get really angry. But I like the Telltale Game of Thrones game, and I love how each character is completely different and has their own personality and their own role in the story and their purpose of being there. It all adds up really good. Like, Mira is the younger sister. You get to play as her in King's Landing. You get to play as Asher Forrester, the exiled brother that is across the Narrow Sea in Essos and is fighting with Daenerys, and that's really cool. And then you also have Roderick, who is the lord of the house in Ironrath, which is in the north. So there's like so many different places you can see kind of expanded upon beyond the scope of the TV show, and I love it. I'm really disappointed that we never got a second season of the Telltale Game of Thrones due to Telltale shutting down and everything that happened with that back then, and I think they're also waiting for the TV show to be finished, but by the time that happened, they were shut down. So, yeah, it sucks that we never got a follow-up because the story did end somewhat on a cliffhanger, so I'm just warning you about that, is that it didn't really feel like a satisfying conclusion because they were intending completely on making more and releasing more Game of Thrones down the line. But since they never did, it's kind of like, it kind of leaves a bitter taste in your mouth once you're done with it and you finished it. It's still worthy of your time, though, when it's all said and done. And aside from The Walking Dead and Tales from the Borderlands, this is one of my favorite Telltale games that they've ever made. So, if you're a Telltale fan at the very least, you should give this a try. So, yeah, that's Game of Thrones in 2025. Let me know if you play this game still, if you've ever played it before. I want to know your opinion on the game, and how would you rank it out of 10? Would you give it like a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Somewhere in that range? I would give it, honestly, like, probably like a solid 8. I think that's fair. But yeah, play this game in 2025 still. It's really good.